Good morning. Today's June 7th, and we've been taught that the key to a good life is planning, setting goals, mapping out timelines, anticipating every detail. But living well doesn't require over planning. In fact, too much planning can create pressure, limit your spontaneity, and disconnect you from the richness of the present moment. Learning to loosen your grip doesn't make you irresponsible, it makes you more alive. I tend to overplan and create OCD thoughts about all the things that could or could not go wrong when it comes time for a family to come visit us or if we take a trip somewhere. I have noticed that I try to plan for any scenario and that creates a spiraling thoughts that are usually not good for my mental health. Overplanning can create the illusion of control, but it often leads to anxiety, rigidity, and an inability to adapt when life shifts. Instead of feeling supported, you end up feeling boxed in by your own expectations. The more tightly you try to manage life, the more overwhelming it becomes. For me, this creates anxiety, stress, and puts me in a bad mood because I'm imagining the worst case scenarios rather than focusing on the present. When I catch myself in these spirals, I try to refocus on the now and realize the only thing I control is how I respond to whatever events occur. Preparation sets you up for success. However, over planning steals your peace. Preparation gives you a sense of steadiness. Over planning tries to predict every outcome and avoid every mistake. The goal is not to stop planning altogether, it's to learn how to prepare without suffocating your life with structure. For example, we can pack our clothes, plan accordingly, but it is inevitable, at least in our house, we're going to forget something. So we just know we might have to take a trip to Walmart or the pharmacy to pick up something we forgot. Living well without over planning requires presence, slowing down enough to notice what's actually happening. When you practice tuning into your intuition, your energy, and the opportunities in front of you, you realize life is always giving you guidance. You don't need to control everything, you just need to pay attention. Once again, when I realize I'm in the spiraling mindset, I try to bring myself back to the present. I often look back and realize that everything worked out, so remembering that nothing bad happened helps regulate my nervous system. This helps me to reduce the spiraling thoughts, helps me realize that we can figure it out if something doesn't go according to plan, and allows me to relax a bit before the chaos of travel. Some of the most meaningful moments in life come from spontaneity, an unexpected conversation, a last minute opportunity, a new idea that sparks out of nowhere. When you create space for unplanned moments, you invite joy, creativity, and possibility back into your life. We ended up taking a last minute trip to Brushy Mountain State Penitentiary after leaving a visit from my family. And that little trip to explore the old prison turned distillery was a fun trip with our kids. We laughed, we got pictures, I got to share stories from when I worked for the Tennessee Department of Corrections, and we just had a good time. This little spontaneous adventure created whole new memories that we will cherish for a long time. The deeper truth behind overplanning is often a lack of trust. Trust in yourself, trust in your resilience, trust in timing. When you practice living with a bit more openness, you build confidence in your ability to handle what comes. Overplanning becomes less necessary because you you trust yourself more than the plan. I'm always concerned with interactions with people more so than any other part of the plan or trip. I like to keep the peace and not be confrontational, but I also know that having various personalities all together can be a lot. It's overwhelming. This is the part that I have a hard time with is allowing my spiraling thoughts to overtake my conscious effort to be present and not anticipate the next thing. You don't need a perfect plan to live a meaningful life. Living well is about intention, presence, and adaptability. It's allowing life to surprise you, trusting your own capacity, and letting your days breathe. When you stop over planning, you create space for genuine connection, creativity, and joy, things no plan can fully capture. Today's positive affirmation is my body is a gift. I treat it with love and respect. I hope you all have a great Sunday.